What is going on, Guardians? Ember here with another one for you today. And what I wanted to get into is a Titan build for PvP specifically. I don't usually get into PvP that often. However, I've been having a ton of fun with this build here, and specifically pairing it with the Forgiveness Sidearm has just taken it to the next level. We'll get into the perks of the Sidearm that I've been using and the build that I've been going after. But first, go ahead, head down below this video, give me a subscribe, give me a like, and let me know in the comment section if this is the type of content you like to see. Don't forget to stick around at the end of the video for an original meme. And I do also have a link down in the description here to my Twitch. I do go live on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, usually from about 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. Pacific time. Without further ado, let's get into it here, starting with the sidearm. So with the sidearm here, I have a pretty decent roll. You know, I have a ranged masterwork, I have killing wind, multi-kill clip. I could have a better magazine perk here, namely high cal rounds is probably what I prefer. I really like high cal rounds, but without that, it's still pretty good. With the flared magwell here for the increased reload speed, that pairs pretty well with multi-kill clip. I do add a targeting adjuster mod, which takes my recoil direction to 96. That's going to be basically vertical. So let's see how this pairs with the build overall. So I am using Thunder Crash. I have the Towering Barricade, the Strafe Lift, Seismic Strike, and the Storm Grenade. For my aspects, I am using the Knockout arc aspect here for the Titan. Critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attacks with arc energy and increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating targets with melee attacks starts health regeneration and makes you amplified. Being amplified is going to be what we're really going for here. That's going to help us get those multi-kill clip defeats and then run to the other side of the map, or at least a good distance, so we'd still have our multi-kill clip up and hopefully get to chain them more and more and more. The next aspect I have is Touch of Thunder. This is a little more optional. You can kind of use Touch of Thunder or the Juggernaut aspect wherever you particularly feel more comfortable. I'm using the Touch of Thunder specifically because I'm getting the Storm Grenade to track nearby targets. I'm using a shotgun and a sidearm at the same time. I don't have a ton of range, so I use those storm grenades to kind of flush out enemies that are a little further away, maybe outside of my range. I can't really do too much to them, so that helps me to have a little bit more maneuverability. With my fragments here, I do have the Spark of Discharge. Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace that's going to help us to have our abilities up more often. Spark of Magnitude, your Lingering Arc Grenades, Lightning, Storm, and Pulse Grenades are going to have an extended duration. Spark of Frequency, melee hits greatly increase your reload speed for a short duration. That is really great, again, paired with our multi-kill clip. And then Spark of Feedback, taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage and gives you plus 10 resilience. So as a Titan, that definitely helps you out no matter what you're doing. As you can see, I'm really not using any piece of armor here in specific. I mean, I have the Cuirass of the Falling Star on. That's definitely a PvE exotic. I just want to show off the overall build, how it goes, and then you can really put in whatever you like, whatever makes your overall experience a little bit easier overall. I don't have really 100 resilience or 100 intellect here, and so really I'm just focusing on how the build goes together and how you can chain these melees and the multi-kill clips on this Forgiveness sidearm. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, you can get a 3-tap with this weapon in its optimal range, and using it for aggressive play will pay off for you the most. I usually have the most fun in general while I'm playing aggressively in PvP, and so this was a nice weapon to pair with that type of playstyle. And using your abilities to help get an enemy weak so that you can get the quick kill with the sidearm, reload, and get the kill clip will help you to get those nice TTKs, so that you can also chain these multi-kills together with the multi-kill clip. I ran into more than a few risk runners as well with those damage reductions to arc. I didn't seem to notice it too much while I was having my kill clip up. And finding ways to continue to be aggressive against the enemy team always ends up paying off with this build, which is why I liked it so much. I did end up having a lot of fun just kind of running around, punching, swapping to my shotgun, swapping back to the sidearm to clean up other kills, get that multi-kill clip going. It was a very smooth process overall. I managed to run into the Guardian with the Risk Runner fairly often as well. I didn't feel helpless against them. You know, usually you're running with those arc weapons, it can feel almost like banging your head against the wall. And chaining these kills together definitely takes a little bit of practice. You definitely will have to be mindful about when you're reloading, how often you are reloading as well. Plus the downtime that you have in between fights, you want to make sure to plan ahead and see what you can do to get ahead of any enemies that might be coming in on your flank, since you don't have too much range in general. When you're able to get that multi-kill clip up and pull through on some enemies that are maybe not expecting you to be so powerful right away, it can help you to have the upper hand for sure. I know right here I also show off a little bit about why the build ends up helping me out so much. Once I'm able to get those melee kills, I can transition into getting my health regened basically immediately. This can help in those hectic 6v6 battles where every time you turn a corner, there's another enemy right there waiting to hit you with anything they've got. So being able to swap to all your different weapons at once and have them synergize is really important with a build like this. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the loop that I had while playing with this build and how it synergized with the weapon overall. Let me know if you did end up using this build and anything that I could do to make it better. Find me in the comment section down below and let me know what worked for you there. I'd love to discuss and have a conversation about it. Thank you again for joining me today, Guardians. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's go ahead and throw that meme up there on the screen. Don't forget to obliterate that subscribe and like button below. Find me on Twitch and Twitter. I'd love to hear from you there. And as always, be without form, swift as lightning.